Hey guys, good morning and welcome back to my first 10 weeks of Return to Marathon Training review, video review. I don't have a good name for this. My summary, my 10-week summary. There you go, my 10-week summary on what I've been up to. I know the first few weeks I shot some videos, but then I realized they were kind of get monotonous. It's really hard to talk about 2 miles a day, that kind of thing. So as I shared with you, I believe at the end of week 3 was I was going to go ahead and just do a my first 10-week summary review and try to keep this under 10 minutes. So with that, let's begin. So how has it been coming back from running the first 10 weeks? For those of you who just joined my channel, congratulations, welcome to the club. And I think this gives us an opportunity for, while some of us are distance pros, others are trying to get into the game and may not know exactly where to begin or what's going to happen, what to expect from our bodies, things like that. And take it from me, I started training for marathons late of 2008. All right, so yeah, this fall would have been 10 years. And so, 10 years. And so, some of us who've been running for a while, we forget what it feels like to be new. What it feels like to suck, so to speak. And that could be defined as having poor running economy, being slow, things hurting, things just not flowing well, and running just not being fun. That's what I mean by that. And so when you take time off unexpectedly, like myself, due to injury, and you take a couple months off, your body reminds you exactly how human you really are. Because when you first come back, you feel awfully human. And let me tell you, it's not fun. While to this day, I still kind of work through mild aches, just kind of reminders of some of the pains I went through last season, as far as like my left Achilles tendon. That usually warms up within the first half mile, and then I'm fine. No, it doesn't complain throughout the day, so I'm fortunate there. But little things like that says, remember me, remember me. Those little pains that you really don't enjoy, sometimes I still get them. I still get them a little bit, but I'm very careful about making certain that I'm not letting those escalate into something more painful, things like that. And so coming back, and from the inspiration of an article I read somewhere about getting into running order. I came up with the idea, or was inspired from this article I read, to where, while it seems, it just takes forever, run 1 mile, how many times, for me, I've been running 3 days a week, plus I go to the gym when I show up, but primarily I dedicate 3 days a week to running, and starting with week 1, I'd run 1 mile a day, times 3 days. And then week 2, I'd add another mile. So I'm going to 2 miles. Week 3, 3 miles. Week 4, 4 miles, and so on and so on. And so it gets to where week 10, and which was, of course, last week, I'm running 10 miles every single time I'm going out running. And normally I would have my 10 and 12 mile runs and things like that as my long runs on Saturday, and all my other runs were a lot shorter. Now, no longer than 7 miles. Normally was, always been my prior training program. And this time, because of course right now I'm in the reestablishing myself phase, still building my foundation, getting my base established, as far as distance and getting my body comfortable with all that. Speed is not the game. It's all about just working on your running economy and letting your body reestablish itself. Because you have to worry about your cardio efficiency, you have to worry about your respiratory system, make certain that your lungs become more efficient with delivering oxygen, your blood delivering oxygen and fuel to your muscles. I mean, all these little cellular things that take place inside our body, we don't have any control over that. Only thing we can do is train our bodies so our body as a response to this training becomes more conditioned for this kind of training. So a lot of what we do as runners is we're working to train our cells and our body and our muscles and everything else. We're working on stimulating those things to becoming more effective at their job. And that's all we can do. Though these things we can do personally, like working on our running economy, our stride length, little things like that, that we have control over. But there's a lot of what goes on the inside we just don't have control over. All we could do is stimulate it to become more effective and more efficient. And so that's what the first 10 weeks have been all about. I do apologize. Yes, I'm very bad, or been bad, about not meeting certain timelines as far as getting videos placed, uploaded, things like that. Sunday, I had all the intention of doing so, but with my work schedule, I just had so much on my plate, I just couldn't do it. And then I started crunching 10 weeks worth of data, figuring out how can I display this in 10 minutes? And what kind of common denominators can I see that I could sit there and like graph and chart and things like that. And well, as you guys know, sometimes I'm kind of all across the board when it comes to certain things. And even though the last 10 weeks have been open runs, and open runs for the most part meant I let my legs tell me how fast I wanted to go, and I really just didn't give a shit what the heart was saying. I just didn't, especially with the shorter runs. But as during weeks 8, 9, and 10, I kind of realized it's taking more than 2 days to recover. And clearly you can see, or I could show you here, I'm in the 72-hour recovery range, 3-day recovery range. Not fun. And just to give you an idea, here is Saturday's run. Here's my Saturday's run, just to kind of give you an idea kind of what that's all about. Take a look. Good morning, guys, and welcome to Saturday of week 10, my return to marathon training. All right, we dropped 1 degree. You see it started out 52, it's 51 degrees. All right, what a first 10 weeks it's been. Humidity's a little high, 59%, but not too bad. Oh, all right. I gotta admit, running 10 miles a day 3 times a week, at first it's kind of intimidating, but it does get a little easier because it doesn't seem so long after a while. Anyhow, I definitely made a commitment after Thursday to stick to about a 162, 163 heart rate. And outside of, a couple times when you go uphill or something like that, you exceed that. For the most part, I maintained that. And I believe outside of 2 miles, as I remember looking at my watch, all my miles I kept under an 8:30 pace for the heart rate I was running at. Let's take a look here. Okay, 72 hours. Again, because I'm not fully recovered from Thursday's run as expected. There you go. Oh, there you go. 8:28 average mile. Didn't have as many trouble with crossing the streets with the cars and things. This should be about the same. Okay, good. 49. Perfect. That's all I've got for now. I will get you guys caught up on Sunday with my first 10 weeks in review. Till then. So as you can see, 72 hours. That's 3 days. 3 days, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And so, moving forward, the goal will be to run slower in the hopes of reducing recovery time, so that I could start, on the days I do make it to the gym, start doing more running on like small runs those days, and it doesn't interfere with recovering and things like that. So that's kind of the focus there. However, so what do the first 10 weeks look like? Let's go ahead and take a look at what Garmin has to show us, and you'll see for yourself. Take a look. All right, so when I pull up all my running from, well, actually this is like a whole crap load of running. Actually, it doesn't even tell me. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. I mean, you can see this page here goes all the way back to July. Well, if I let it load, it even goes back further. However, so what I did was I took all this data, and Garmin is really good about it because right here, you see here, export to CSV. When we do that, boom, it lands in an Excel page Of course, there's more stuff here, but the data fields in these other areas I deleted only because my watch didn't support producing information on those data fields. So I got rid of that and just focused on this. However, so going backwards, and I know I chopped it off back in October, but you can see there, because of injury, this is my distance column. And because of injury, I was only doing a couple miles here and there when I did run. It was like really bad. So getting back into this 10 weeks of running thing, starting effectively the week of, you might say the 11th, as you're seeing here in a moment, I wasn't as oh, what's a good word for it? I wasn't as thorough with my training, recovery, return and running plan, because we take a look here, and some weeks I made it out 3 days, some weeks 2, some weeks 1, just the way it goes. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to kid you. Dealing with depression and things like that from last year, it does play a role. I mean, running helps, but it still plays a role. So week 1, I got out twice. Week 2, I got out 3 times. Week 3, got out twice. 4, 3 times. 5, 3 times. 6, 3 times. 7, once. 8, twice. And then 9 and 10, 3 times as planned. That's fine, okay? And you can see my calorie expenditure, little by little, it's definitely goes up with the miles, okay? That's fine. However, the nice thing you can see quickly is average heart rate. While we start here at mile 1, and you guys know mile 1 is a warm-up mile. It doesn't really count. Your body's really not even functioning. You're not even really going fast by any stretch. But for apple-to-apple comparison, I didn't edit any of this out. I just, let Garmin give me my numbers and let it be. So while at the beginning, heart rate, okay, a little crazy here, easy here. Then I got, openly stupid because like 2 miles, really, come on. And then as time went on, you see a pattern about the 165, 167 range as the distance goes up. So as the distance goes up, the heart rate, I'm trying to keep some sort of consistency. And even we get into week 6, try to, make it a little bit more comfortably realistic. And of course, week 8 wasn't that great. But week 9, that's when I realized 72 hours, that's a long time. And I needed to keep this in check. So come week 10, I made it a point to try to keep it about the 163 range. And so that's that. To try to, just with the idea of trying to reduce recovery time. As you can see, training effect, you guys know I'm a monster when it comes to this stuff. 5s across the board, down here 4s, down here 3s, the very bottom. All right, so even with training effect, under these little Peasley miles, as I would call them, I'm just making the most of it, getting the most of it, and you'll see here in a little bit, that paid off. So going back here, average cadence, not too worried about that, but at least it goes, there's some pattern there. Nice and consistent, 179, 180, that's fine. Average pace, again, now this to some degree could say something for us. Because while, as the miles picked up, I'm running about 8:45s, including the warm-up mile, 8:45, 8:30s, again, 8:30s, 8:45s. However, as we get in here to week 9 and 10, it definitely became more of the 8:30s, 8:38s kind of range, which is nice. But most importantly, is I was running, even at this slow pace, on a 163 on an 8:38, whereas we come down, let's go 8:34, and I was running, okay, here at 164 on an 8:34. However, I was also only running 5 miles. And so for my body to be able to manage 10 miles and keep a slightly slower heart rate, that definitely shows improvement. So I'm definitely good with that. So I can't complain. I really can't complain when it comes to that. Now, there's a couple other things you might, that Garmin had shared with me that I wanted to share with you guys. Take a look. And so then we come over here, and so Garmin has these reports. And you can see based on my weekly mileage, I definitely picked it up. Definitely picked it up. So so that was good there. March right now, I'm tracking 83 miles. 83 miles for the month, and of course the month's not over yet. February, I only did 50. January, I only did 26. However, this is something I wanted to share with you guys too, VO2 Max. So we had that break kind of between November and January. Didn't really run, that's fine. However, come back to January. Okay, 2 months off from November, December, okay. I dropped off at 50. After 2 months, I came back at 47. I dropped 3 milliliters of VO2 Max. However, because of my wacky approach to returning to running, which by far was not exactly taking it easy exactly by any stretch, at least heart rate goes. In January, 47. I came up to 48 in February, and again, remember also I gave blood, that didn't help much. 48, and currently I'm at 49 milliliters. So I'm slowly returning my VO2 max little by little as well. Hey, 1 point per month, I can live with that. If I can be consistent with that, wow, you figure in 7 more months, which would be October, Chicago Marathon time, if I could add 7 points to 49, that'd bring me up at 56. I'd be happy camper. So we'll see. We'll certainly see. So while I know I blew my 10-minute window, and let's face it, I tried. I really tried to keep it 10 minutes. But this is what my first 10 weeks of return running looked like. Yes, sometimes I fell off the wagon and didn't show up, for one reason or another. But I always returned and came back and continued where I left off. So there's progress being made there. In addition to that, I went from running 1 mile every 3 times a week to 10 miles 3 times a week. And I'll be honest with you, normally 10 miles would be my short long run on Saturdays, and now this is my weekly run. And last week, I'll admit, it was a little intimidating. The second time out, I'm thinking, wow, 10 miles again? How's my body going to handle it? How's it going to respond? But I was all right. I was really all right with it, because now that I'm back to doing 10 miles, let's see if I can pull this up real quick. Here we go. To give you some idea, this is what my 10-mile course looks like. And here, take a look. So I started at my house. This is city streets. This I pick up the canal, and I'm in the canal all the way until I U-turn and come back. So while this is mile 2, you figure about just over 2 miles, 2.25 miles tops. So I'm in the canal for the better part of 3 miles out, 3 miles back. So I'm spending 6 of my 10 miles in the canal running. There's a pathway, which of course is totally car free. And so I spent 6 miles with no cars, and other than crossing the major street here, crossing the major street here, that's it. Other than that, I don't have to worry about cars. So I do enjoy running the canal. And so, I get out there in the morning, like, all right, I hit the canal, get my 10 out, be back, be done, that's fine. And so I really believe there's going to be, I'm really believing that I'm going to see some very unusual results this training season as a result to breaking into my preseason with a lot of distance runs, because I'm working on getting the volume up and things like that. And so this way when it comes down to doing these shorter runs with speed in them, it'll be easier because my body will be used to these longer runs with slower pace. So I definitely look forward to that. And so where do I go from here? Well, by June, ideally June 1st, I'll definitely have that's my personal cutoff time for my commitment to the 2018 Chicago Marathon. So I continue to train injury-free. Then come June 1st, I'll be going ahead and making my commitment for the Chicago Marathon in October. And so between now and June, as math has it, I believe I've got another let me double check here. Hang on. All right, so I got another 12 weeks of training before I have to make a commitment to do 16 weeks of marathon training. Will it vary? Yes, because of course there'll be more speed stuff, things like that, but at least I'll have the distance part down already. And I think that's crucial. I think that's really crucial because, you know, doing speed work and then going out and running a long distance, I think those two combined tend to compound running related injuries more than just adding speed work to already a high volume week. At least that's my opinion. So moving forward, I'll continue working on doing some small stuff at the gym on gym days. I'll just do like 1 or 2 miles, when I run there. Yeah, there'll be more speed related stuff only because it's treadmill, how boring is that? And then of course Thursdays, because of my work schedule, Thursdays are going to be my long run days. So while I'll continue to run 10s all the time, Thursdays I'll build up. I'll go 12 this week, 14 next, 16 next, and go back to 12, 14, 16, 12, 14, 16. So I'll do that just to work up my longer distance volume as well. So that's the plan with that. Anyhow, I'm going to get this wrapped up and I will check back in with you guys on Sunday at the end of week 11 to let you know how things are going. All right, so you guys have any questions, please post them below. Oh, by the way, Clark, I know Clark, one of my friends, one of my subscribers. He's shared with me. He's been with us for a while. He shared with me that he had a race last Sunday. So Clark, shout out to you. I hope you PR'd. I hope you met your time goal. I look forward to hearing all about your race in the comments. Everybody else, if you have any questions, comments, please leave them below. If you liked today's video, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button. And as you can follow me in my journey as I work towards my first sub 3 hour marathon, and you can learn for yourself exactly what somebody who inspires to be fast, what I'm doing to get there on as organically as possible. I'm being extremely transparent so you can see all my Garmin data and so you can see exactly firsthand what I'm doing and whether or not it's working. So anyhow, like today's video if you liked it, post a comment below if you have any questions or comments, subscribe if you're new to my channel, and until then, thanks for joining me on my journey, and I'll see you next week. Until then, take care.